All right, good morning, everybody. Time to go into pattern focus and find the patterns. I thought I was going to take a few days off, but apparently I'm not going to. So scroll on down here. We're going to do this one. Yeah, we're going to do this one. KTHU. Looks like Mimi has already done it. So go ahead and check out that video. I've not looked at that one, so I don't know how she just done it. But I really like the look of it. It kind of looks like octopus tentacles. See, there's the... Get it so that there's no glare. Ooh, the sun just came out. Sun's been going in and out behind the clouds. It was good when I first started. Now it's bright. Okay, so it kind of looks like octopus tentacles. I really kind of like this artwork. That's kind of fun. We're going to learn how to do this. It looks pretty simple. First step is we're going to do some graduating circles going from bigger to smaller. Or smaller to bigger, depending on how you're drawing it, right? And do those in kind of a V-like shape. But they don't have to be super straight. As a matter of fact, more organic would be better. Then between each one of those, we're going to connect them with a line. Like so. And then we're going to do a little aura just on this side of the circles. Or orb shapes. They're not exactly circles. And then we're going to add some more down the middle. And then do the same thing. On one side, we're going to just do an aura. And then you can embellish or whatever you want to do. But that's the basic shape. And then, of course, like if you want it more tentacly, then, you know, I'm probably going to lay out this shape that I do in pencil first, just because. Okay, so let's start with that. I'm going to turn on my light. Oh, look at there, much better without all the shadows. Do this, zoom that in so you guys can see. Hopefully I'm in a fairly good spot for you guys to see. I've moved some things around, so I don't know. Every time I've moved my camera, I have to totally reorganize myself. Decided on blue paper because since it's sort of tentacly, sort of underwater like. Let's think about composition here. Do kind of like the sample, the way they've done it, but I'm gonna make it smaller. I'm gonna make myself a little kind of a wonky square. And maybe some kind of wavy something here. Lines or something. I'm not sure what just yet. You probably can't see what I'm doing because I'm sketching really light. But then I'm going to do this sort of tentacle-y shape. And then like that, and maybe one coming behind here, and then maybe one coming out like this, and like that perhaps, and maybe one going up and up and over and like that, maybe. Okay, something like that. So I've created myself a composition, And now I'm going to start with the little circles. Let me zoom in on you guys a little bit more so you can see. This one's going to be the one in front. So I'm going to start with the smallest. Let me just kind of take a quick glance at their artwork, because that's the best way to see where they've... Okay. We're going to kind of just do sort of orb shapes, getting a little bit bigger as we go downward, like that. And then over here we're going to do the same thing. Like that. Then we're going to connect these together. With a line like so. I've been actually recently watching on YouTube a channel that studies octopus behavior, so this is kind of appropriate. Okay, we're going to do ourselves a little aura around those this way. What was that? Oh, those dogs next door. Wish they would stop. I really do. Just mail. Okay. Nothing. Just gotta keep track of my phone. My husband's gone to the doctor. Doctor gave him some new medication, and I think it's giving him a reaction, so he called this morning. I'm drawing this on a Monday. He noticed it over the weekend that something wasn't right. We have a friend who's a nurse. She also said something's not right. You need to call your doctor. So he's gone in this morning. So I want to keep track of when he gets home, because I want to talk to him as soon as he gets home. I suppose I could have gone with him, but I didn't. Something like this. I made all my little tentacle bits different sizes. You can do whatever you want. And then I want to go, I think this one. Yeah, that YouTube channel. I don't remember what it's called. Maybe I can look it up for you. Let me look that up real quick and see what it's called. YouTube, where did YouTube go? YouTube, it should be under my history of things that I've been watching lately, right? One would think. YouTube. Library, where's history on the mobile app? I don't know. I wish mobile apps would be the same as desktop, because library, is it called library? My history, aha, it's called library on a mobile app. It's called Octolab TV, Octolab TV. That's the name of the channel that I've been watching. It's been kind of fun. Watch the different experiments. They do experiments into like how small of an area the octopus can squeeze into, or like intelligence tests. They're very smart animals, believe it or not. I watched one where the scientists thought that the goal of the experiment was to get the octopus to figure out that they needed to unscrew this bottle to, it was like a baby bottle, with a little hole in it on the side that it could reach its arm in and taste the fish they put in there, but it couldn't get to it without what they thought was unscrewing the bottle to get to it, because they know that octopuses can do that behavior. Yeah, it was really interesting. The octopus just brute force just ripped that bottle, the top right off, instead of unscrewing it, which was a lot of force. Octopuses are extraordinarily strong, I've learned, which I find to be very fascinating. I'm going to do some dots too here, I think. Let's see, what other experiments did they do? They did, they did one with, the octopus has this living quarters that it prefers in the tank, and they did an experiment where they filled it with like little blocks, and just to see what the octopus would do if its home became filled with debris. That was kind of fun to watch. And then also gave it an opportunity to move homes. They also put the debris in the home that it's used to living in, and then they added a shelter that was not there in the tank before. Just to see what the octopus would do, if it would just move over to the new shelter, if it preferred the old shelter. It actually preferred the old shelter, and tried to dig in there and squeeze its way in. That was fun to watch. Like I said, I'm just fascinated with undersea and the animals under the sea. That just fascinates me. I don't think I'd want to be a marine biologist or anything, but just watching this just mesmerizes me. Also watched, I think it's called Nautilus. The National Oceanic Exploration Channel. They found, they were doing some diving with the ROV underneath the oceans in, I want to say it was Monterey Bay. It was a couple weeks ago I watched it. And they discovered a whale carcass at the bottom of the ocean. And so they were, it had been dead probably. They estimated based on the decomposition a few months been dead. So it was mostly skeletal, but it had a little bit of flesh left on it. But just to watch what the different animals that were now living on the whale body, that was also very, very interesting. Now, if you can see my pencil marks, you can probably see, I don't know if you can see, I'm not going exactly on them. I'm just I used them as a guide as to a general idea of where I wanted to maybe go with this. And I'm just going where it feels natural to me. I do wish those neighbor dogs would stop barking. Drives me crazy. The one behind what's barking now isn't too bad. It's usually fairly quiet. Is that the one behind us? I think it is. The ones next door, oh, they are awful. They finally calmed down. I've been waiting since, let's see, it's almost 10 o'clock now. So they really got quiet about 9-ish. I've been waiting since 7 o'clock this morning for them to be quiet so that I could come out here and work. That was just annoying. I think I want to do one more. I'll come this way. My husband and some friends from church did a fundraising walk this weekend on Saturday. I really wanted to do it too, but I had to work. No more asking for days off for me till Christmas is over at this point, unfortunately. But they did some fundraising for suicide prevention awareness. We were walking in memory of one of our young church members who decided to leave this world by his own hand. So that was a tough day for the family. He's been gone one year, a little over a year. Yeah, it's been really tough, really tough. The family's just been struggling. But the dad, he had mentioned to my husband that he was afraid to come. He psyched himself up that he was definitely going to come. He was going to be there. He was going to support the cause, and that, you know, he could do it. And then when he woke up in the morning, he was afraid he couldn't do it, and he just wasn't going to go. But his wife encouraged him because she wanted to go. She wasn't walking, but she wanted to go. And he said when he got there and he saw how many people, there were like close to 2,000 people there for the walk, plus people who were there just to support the people who are walking. It dawned on him that that was a good thing that he went, and that he's been struggling with the whole, it feels like he's the only one, or their family's the only one that's going through this. And of course, obviously they're not. It's KTHU. Yeah, they're obviously not the only family who's struggling with the aftermath of suicide. They'd printed pictures of the young man that we were walking for to wear on the backs of their t-shirts. My husband had also printed one of his friend she's been gone 10 years now. She was in her mid-50s when she decided to take her own life. You never get over it. You know, you don't. And granted, you know, we weren't her family, but, you know, my husband was the godfather to her children. They were very close. And it still hurts him to this day that she chose to do that and never talked about it to anyone. That was the hardest thing, is it just seemed like it came out of the blue. She did have some severe medical issues that she'd been dealing with her whole life, you know. And apparently she just decided that she'd had enough, you know. I don't think, this is my personal opinion. I could be completely 100% wrong. So, you know, if your experience and your opinion is different, you know, we can have a polite discussion in the comments if you want. But, you know, just to let you know, this is just my personal opinion, not fact or anything. But I truly believe in my heart that those who choose to take their own life aren't necessarily wanting to die. They just don't want to live the way they're living anymore. Does that make sense? They're just tired of living with the pain, the anxiety, the torment, mental or physical, that is going on in their life. They're just tired of living. But they don't think they really want to die, which is seems counterintuitive. But I've also spoken to a lot of, well, not a lot. Okay, I've spoken to a few people who have been to that point where they thought that the only way out was to end it. And I've been fortunate enough to be one of the people who helped that person not take the pills. And at the time, that person wasn't my friend. I didn't really know them, but I could tell in the post that she'd posted. She was posting in a group, a group of people who were playing games on Facebook, believe it or not. But I could just tell from the tone. I'd heard that before. I heard that looking back. I'd heard similar things from our friend. I didn't see it. Nobody saw it first time around. But now that I've experienced it, I'm more sensitive, maybe, to the nuances of how somebody's saying something. You know, lots of people say things like, oh, I could just die, and not really mean it. Or, geez, I wish I was dead, and not really mean it in the moment. There's a subtle nuance that you start to hear. And I was hearing that. And so I reached out. I sent this person a private message and said, you know, I don't know, I don't really know you other than, you know, the little interaction we've had in the group. But I hear your pain. I acknowledge that you're suffering. You're having a really tough time. Is there anything I can do to help? And we talked. We talked for several hours that evening over Messenger. And she chose to continue to struggle in life and not just give up. And she's the one who told me she really didn't want to die. She just didn't want to live the way she was continuing to live. And I thought, well, you know, what can we do together? You know, I can support you. You know, I live very far away from you, and we may never meet in person ever. But, you know, what can I do? Can we schedule a time where we sit down and chat every single day? And we work through the struggles and the difficulties that you're having, and I can support you mentally through these times. And you know what? It really helped. And if we can make that awareness in other people, where they hear the pain of someone else and then they can do something about it before that person decides that life just isn't worth it. It's not worth the struggle. It's not that they want to die. It's that they just don't want to live. Before they get to that point, if we can hear them and we can say, you know, I hear you, I see your struggle, I see your pain. Sometimes that's all a person really wants, is just to be seen and to be listened to and to be loved. If we can do that for each other, wow, we can make a big impact. So I encourage you, I know this is kind of deep and dark conversation that I've decided to have today, but you know, I encourage you that if you're hearing somebody just really struggling, can you reach out to them and just say, hey, I see you're having a tough time. What can I do to help? You want to talk? You want to go out and have a beer and chat? You know, you want to be distracted and go to a movie together? Or do you want to be serious and we can sit down and talk? Both of those things can sometimes just help. A person who's having a tough day and struggling, you know, think about others. Listen to the tone when they say, oh yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. It's all right. You know, or yeah, I'm fine. Having a great day. You know, you can tell from the tone of somebody's voice when they are struggling, but they're just putting on a brave face. And most of the time, we're all busy within ourselves, and we just choose to just brush off somebody else's pain and experience. We don't want to take the time to take it on ourselves. You know, I'm too busy. It's the whole I'm too busy mentality that we all do, myself included. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm far from it. I'm just saying that now that I've had this experience in my life, I'm a little more sensitive, a little more aware. Is it possible that I'm even less aware than I think I am? Probably. I'm sure that there have been people who have been in pain and I've completely just missed it. I am 100% sure that has happened. But I'm also 100% sure that I've also heard more than I used to before. Does that make sense? I know I'm not perfect. I'm never going to claim to be perfect. None of us can be perfect. But we can all try better if we know better, you know? You can't do better unless you know better. And if we can bring awareness and education to the world, once you know better, you can do better. And that's really all this was about, was raising funds so that they could spread a message of, you know, through advertising or other events, you know, counselors, paying for counseling for those who can't afford it, you know, all those kinds of things is what this fundraising was for. And look at that. That's cool. I think I want to add some white highlights, I think. But yeah, if we can raise awareness, then maybe if we save one life, it's worth it. If we save 10 lives, it's mega worth it. If we save 100 lives, maybe 1,000 lives. I don't know. I don't know how many we're saving. You may never know how many lives you're saving just by being aware and saying, you know, can I help you today? You seem to be having a tough day. What can I do to help you? Can I just take the kids off your hands for half an hour so you can get a nap? That might be useful. The new mom who's just going through some postpartum depression and she doesn't understand what's going on in her own head and body. You know, can I take the baby while you take an afternoon to, you know, do something for yourself, take a nap, have a bath, go to the bathroom without somebody hanging on you. I mean, just simple things, you know. Can I come over and make you a meal and sit with you and we just have a chat? It's not just for people who are suicidal, just for anybody who's struggling, you know. Be aware of the people around you and just offer to help in some way. They don't have to be difficult ways. People keep thinking that, you know, you have to be, oh, I can't help that person. That's for a psychologist. That's for somebody who's trained. No, it's for somebody who loves. And if you love and you reach out and love, that's the way to make the world better. Just doing nice things for other people. An elderly person who just spends most of their day at home alone. That widow or widower that is lost without their spouse. You know, take them to lunch. Offer to drive them to the doctor next time they have a doctor's appointment, or, you know, can I go get you some groceries? Can I make you a casserole, stick it in the freezer for you? Little bite-sized portions instead of some giant meal that looks overwhelming. Sometimes people it's not that they can't, you know. I know of a woman who, it's not that she can't cook for herself now that her husband has passed, because she always cooked. It's not that. It's that she's lonely and she's not eating, and she's not used to cooking for one. And so she's making these big meals, and then that big pot of spaghetti or that big casserole or that big piece of meat doesn't look appetizing because it's too big. It reminds her that there's nobody there to share the meal with. So, you know, making small portions to leave in her freezer is a thing we can do just to help out. I can't be there every day to eat dinner with her. My schedule can't allow that, and that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, you know, I can make a small meal, take it over and say, you know, stick this in your freezer, and when you feel like it, just pull it out, pop it in the oven, you know? I like that. I'm going to put a little bit of light blue, I think, in there. Where's my... these ones. Colored pencils. These are polychromos. I'm going to use light ultramarine, and I'm going to do a little coloring back here. This is taking a little longer than I thought it might, but that's because I did all that talking about subject that I'm passionate about. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I feel like there's a reason why I thought of what I thought of and said what I said. And if there's somebody out there who's struggling, please reach out to myself or to someone else. we hear you. There are suicide hotlines to call for people who are actually trained to speak with you if you're really in that dark place. I've never been in a dark place where I felt like I didn't want to ever live again, but I have been in some dark places. Oh, yeah, I have been in some dark places. 2009, 2010 was a really tough year for me. And I've been in some dark places. But with some friends, some very dear, close friends of mine, I made it through to the other side. But I know what it feels like to feel like you're in a pit, a dark pit, and there's no way out. But you know what? If you have a deep, dark pit and someone throws you a ladder or throws you a rope, but you're too weak to grab onto the rope doesn't do any good, you know? But if you're in a deep, dark pit and a friend jumps in and holds you tight, and now you're both in the pit together and you both still can't get out, but now you have a friend in the pit, it's better. And then you know what? Then the two of you can call for another friend, and that friend jumps in the pit. And pretty soon, your friends can lift you out of the pit, and then you're up on top. And then you can reach your hand back in the pit, and you can throw that rope to the people who are stronger, and they can climb themselves out of the pit. But you couldn't get out of the pit yourself, even with the help. You needed somebody to come in the pit with you. Be that friend for someone, please. I have totally been there. And I've had friends who have jumped in the pit with me. This has become very deep, and I'm sorry that it's become very deep, but it's important. It's important that if there is one person who can ask for help that's listening to this, and if there's one person who can hear that person asking for help in their lives and can jump into the pit with their friend, then whatever I'm saying has been worth it. All right, I'm done. I got way off topic. I got a little deep. I'm sorry. Yeah. You may want to just silence this one. But by this time, of course, it's too late. It's at the end. You've already heard it all. But meanwhile, I'm done. Go out and do something nice for someone today. Maybe I've inspired you. I hope so. You guys be blessed. And thanks for being there. You all are a blessing to me. I thank you for all of your Inktober positivity and encouragement that you gave me. Really appreciate that. And I don't take it for granted. I may not respond to everybody's comments, but I read every single one. So thank you. And I will see you guys on the next video. And I promise to be more upbeat and not go there again. All right. See you guys later. Bye-bye.